The U.S. Justice Department gave a present over the holidays to the gaming industry. It opened the doors to states to legalize online gambling. The Justice Department reversed a 5-decade-old policy by declaring that only online betting on sports contests is unlawful. Jack Abramoff joins us now from Washington to discuss this. He's a former lobbyist convicted of mail fraud and conspiracy who worked with the gaming industry. He has a new book out that is critical of lobbying in Washington, and it is titled Capital Punishment. Well, Jack, welcome. What do you make of this ruling, especially as it came out late in the day over the holidays?
Well, it's actually quite amazing for those of us who worked on internet gambling lobbying, and I did for a number of years. I haven't done it for a long time. I haven't been a lobbyist since 2004, but it's quite astonishing, frankly. I'm not certain who expected it, but it was certainly a surprise to me.
Now, you worked to promote online gambling before your conviction and also represented Native American casinos. Tell us a bit about that interaction between the industry and government. I mean, will the gaming industry wind up pumping a lot of money into Congress because of this Justice Department ruling?
Well, the entire gambling industry in America is political. All decisions of legalizing gambling and all decisions in terms of how to regulate it are made by politicians, but usually by legislators. It's rare that the administration will be able to, by fiat, do something that could open up an entire new avenue of gambling. Normally, frankly, every interest that's involved in gambling spends a lot of money politically and does everything they can to impact the business and politics.
How much money do you think is going to be passing through all these hands to get this through?
Well, there are millions, if not tens, and maybe even hundreds of millions. It's hard to say how much in total the gambling industry spends. There's so many issues. In terms of the internet gambling lobbying, it's definitely in the millions. When I was involved back in 2000 and 2003 when I was instrumental in stopping Congress from passing legislation that would make it illegal, definitively illegal to gamble on the internet. It subsequently passed, I think, in 2007, or in fact what was passed was something barring credit cards and banks from in being involved in the transactions of gambling. And that was the effect of banning gambling.
Well, Jack, put yourself in the lobbyist shoes today. Whose palms would have to be greased in order to get this legislation fast-tracked through congressional committees and get those floor votes? Walk us through the process.
Well, it's going to be very difficult, by the way. Whenever one is on offense, let's call it, trying to get something affirmatively passed, it's always more difficult than people on defense. And there are people who oppose this. The religious conservatives certainly oppose it. Other religious groups oppose the legalization of gambling. People who are concerned with people spending too much money on gambling are active in lobbying and spending their money. So it's not going to be very easy. They're going to have to not only make significant inroads in the committee of jurisdictions, certainly in terms of the judiciary committees, and they're going to have very significant support at the leadership level. Moving legislation through the House and the Senate is going to be very difficult. It's going to be extremely expensive for them, and it's going to be, frankly, the odds are against them.
But nothing seemed to be too difficult for you. If you were the strategist, what would you do at this point?
Well, it was easier for me stopping making it illegal because I could enlist the forces on both sides. The bill that that I fought allowed the horse racing industry to have an exemption, so it was easy for me to enlist the religious conservatives and others to stop that bill. Getting this thing through, what one's going to have to do is marshal all the arguments as to why these things are good for the states. Ultimately, I would imagine that they'll take a lead with the state lotteries. We represented the company that was doing the state lotteries way back when in 2000, but you have to look, the lobbyist is going to have to look for whatever benefits this could somehow bring to society and how it's going to be regulated and the fact that it's going to bring in tax revenue and things like that. So I think that that's got to be their approach. They've got to be able to build a case for members to do this and to oppose those that are normally against gambling, which is not an easy chore.
Our thanks to Jack Abramoff. I'm Fred Katayama, and this is Reuters.